So almost an entire month has passed since Chromakopia's release, and it's given me a lot of time to think about what I love about this album and some of the things that I don't like as much. You know, I don't think it's one of Tyler's greatest albums that he's ever released, but at the same time, I still think it holds up extremely well. And I've been trying to reason with myself, you know, why do I think this? Why do I think that, you know, this album is able to captivate me as much as it does? And I think the one thing that really stands out is the sampling used. The sampling throughout this entire album is absolutely incredible. It's so intricate, it comes from so many different sources, and in this video I want to demonstrate just some of the insane samples that he uses throughout this album. So yeah, this is some of the greatest samples that I have found in Tyler the Creator's Chromacopia. I think the best place to start is the very beginning, and Saint Chroma only contains one sample in the entire song, and it's from this collection of African tribe vocal samples, which is something that's really unique. You know, it's so interesting seeing where samples come from in general. You know, artists have this innate ability to be able to sample basically anything, and I think Tyler demonstrates this incredibly well right off the bat. You know, he's sampling a single, you know, audio track from a single 50-second long sample pack, and it fits so well with the entire theme. It establishes well what we're going to be going into through the rest of the album. And while there's not too much to talk about with Saint Chroma to start out, I think it's important to mention the sample just to innately show how far the reaches of Tyler's sampling goes in general. So the second sample used is in NOID, and you know, the second the song dropped, I was scrolling through the comment section on YouTube just trying to find, you know, if anybody could translate this piece of music, and it was really interesting to see how many people actually recognized the song that he was sampling. Apparently it's actually a pretty well-known song by Zambians, and I think that's absolutely incredible. You know, one of the really interesting parts to me is how Tyler was able to recognize both the cultural importance of that song and the amount of people that would actually notice it, and then as well effectively sample it in his song. I think that's absolutely incredible. But this song is featured from an album called 45,000 Volts by the Ngozi family? I think that's it. I really hope I didn't pronounce that wrong. I'm not very good at speaking, but this was just a really unique sample, and it's something, again, that sets Tyler apart, I feel like, from a lot of other artists. You know, you get to this point where, you know, when you're sampling music, you start to fall into a lot of conventional guidelines and rules with sampling, and, you know, I often get stuck in this mindset of I have to follow some kind of convention when I'm sampling music. But Tyler just turns this on its head and just samples whatever he wants that just fits with the theme of the entire album. You know, we're going back to Saint Chroma real quick. With that sample, right, that being paired with what's featured in NOID, it's already creating a cohesive theme throughout, and I think that's incredible, you know? I don't really have too much else to say about this 45,000 Volts album. It was made in 1977, and I tried looking for a Wikipedia page of it, but you can only kind of find, you know, the discography, that's what I'm trying to say, of the artist, but not really too much else. So, you know, if anyone else has any cool facts to share about this, I would absolutely love to hear in the comments. But yeah, let's go on to our next sample. So the next song we're going to be talking about is Darling I. Now, this song has been a, you know, in my opinion, a fan favorite from this album. It's the song that I've been seeing in the most places. It's kind of been everywhere all over the internet, and I absolutely love it. I think it's a gorgeous, beautiful song, you know. But the number one sample that everyone's obviously heard, and it's been commented 8 trillion times, is Snoop Dogg's Drop It Like It's Hot. You know, it's a song produced by Pharrell. You know, Tyler's obviously good friends with Pharrell, and it's an obvious nod to this phenomenal past song, but Tyler's so effortlessly able to create his own work out of it, and it's something that's really, you know, unique. I feel like if you're not fully paying attention, you literally might miss this sample, but the second you hear it once, you're like, oh, yeah, the song is playing, like, the whole time through, like, it's in there, you know? So I thought that was really interesting, but the other lesser-known song that was sampled on was called Vibrant Thing, and it's by Q-Tip and Busta Rhymes. But this song, obviously another very popular song, but at the same time, you know, if you're not really paying attention to the sampling here, you might miss it. And it's something, again, done so effortlessly and so seamlessly in this track that Tyler is able to put his own spin on it and take these two great classic rap tracks and really make something new out of it. And I thought that was really amazing about Darling I. I don't really have too much else to say about it, but those are the two samples in that song. Now, Judge Judy didn't have any direct sampling, you know, it didn't have a one-for-one, you know, track being cut up, sliced, and sampled in it, but it did have the entire lyrical line from Dogtooth inside of it, and I thought it was a really cool nod back to one of Tyler's, more popular songs from the past. When that song dropped at the estate sale and really, revamped the entire Call Me If You Get Lost album, that was a monumental song. That was a huge song, and I think him being able to nod back to his own work is starting to show just how culturally relevant Tyler is as an artist. The fact that he can reference his own tracks is something that's really important, for any really big mainstream artist. It shows that, their raps have staying power, and I think that's really important to note. Even though it's not a direct sample, I think it's important to mention that in this video. So the next song we're going to be talking about is Sticky. And, I feel like this is a very polarizing song. Half of my friends really like it, half of my friends really dislike it. Unfortunately, I'm in the dislike boat. I think the features on the song are just not good, and the song in general is just not catchy for me. I don't feel it, After coming off of some of the other really strong songs, this song just really soured the mood for me. But maybe I'm just a D1 hater, and I'm not here to talk about my opinions on this track. I'm here to talk about the sampling, and the sampling in the song is immaculate. What he's sampling is this song called Get Buck by an artist called Young Buck. I'm reloaded, my tank was swollen, the nigga can't fold it, I got him like. And this was, I'm pretty sure, his most popular song that he ever released. I think it was one of his only songs ever to reach a Billboard Top 100 spot, which, that says something. It's obviously a, more well-known song, but Tyler's still pulling from an artist who never really made it as viral as, a lot of other people take samples from, if you know what I mean. And what I'm trying to say by all of this, too, is the sample is amazing. The sample is immaculate. Tyler's going for this marching band-esque vibe throughout this entire song. He brings in a small marching band, drum group to record part of this song with him, and then he takes this amazing sample of just this, low tuba part, and it's just it's amazing. It's a gorgeous sample. The fact that he was able to recognize that sample and attribute it to this kind of marching band-esque vibe that he was going for, I think that's amazing. Regardless of what I think about the song, I think that sample alone kind of picks it up. It's kind of woo, okay, got this it's whoa, it carries the song for me. The other sample used in Sticky is from James Brown's Get Up Off of That Thing, and a lot of you have probably heard the song before. It's a classic song. I mean, it sounds fantastic. It's a cool song. It's a cool song. And it's interesting because this sample plays one time in the entire song. I'll play it real quick. And, to me, it's always interesting seeing what artists choose to put in and choose to take out, especially since Tyler recently released this video of the behind the scenes of him making the entire album. You can kind of see the development of a lot of these songs, and it shows that he's intentionally putting things in specific places. So what's fascinating for me to think about is that Tyler, intentionally put this sample right here for some reason. He had this vision in his mind, and he was like, I'm gonna lock in and just shove it right here, and it was enough for him to keep in the final cut. And I thought that was really cool, and it shows this level of intentionality to me that I think is really interesting and unique. It's a cool sample. It's just there though, and it's that's it. I don't know, it's one of those blink and you miss it kind of things, and I think that's a really cool feature to have as an artist, If that's not showing precision within his tracks, I don't know what else is. So yeah, those are the two samples used on Sticky. I still don't like the song that much, but maybe I just don't know what I'm talking about. So the next song we're going to be talking about is Take Your Mask Off, and this song took me forever to transcribe. I was struggling so hard with the rhythms because, I'm a little slow sometimes when I'm, trying to transcribe things, and this one just took me a really long time, and I couldn't really recognize why until I started looking at the sampling used in the song. And it's sampling this 1977 track called A Feeling Inside. Now, if you haven't heard this song in isolation, it's absolutely incredible. I'm one of those people that just likes listening to the samples used within rap songs. I think it's really interesting how artists can pick apart a different song and kind of make their own art out of it. But with this song in particular, the song alone is amazing. Like, it is a amazing song and in its own right, you know? And for Tyler to be able to pull this back into the mainstream, you know? Recently, I've been seeing comments on the video for the song of just people, like, you know, spamming, like, oh, I came from Tyler's video, you know, this was from Tyler, all this stuff. And bringing recognition back to an older artist is something that I think is incredible, you know? I would have never found out about this group and, you know, this song in general and the rest of the album that it comes from if it wasn't for Tyler's sampling, you know? But there's not really too much else I have to say about this. It's just an incredible sample. If you haven't heard the original song, I'll link it down below. It's incredible. I'm probably going to link all of these samples just so you can listen to them in isolation. I think that's going to be beneficial, you know, for a lot of you, you know, if you're trying to, like, do production or anything like that. Getting inspiration from other artists is always fantastic for me. So, you know, that's all I really have to say about this. You gotta hear the original song. It's gas, man. It's like... So the next song we're going to be talking about is Tomorrow, and in my mind, this is my favorite song from the entire album. I think it really highlights Tyler's lyric writing and his ability to make, you know, vocally interesting parts of his songs and really develop his kind of feel within his music. You know, there's a lot of abstract words I'm saying, but really what I'm trying to say is this song is incredible. And if you haven't heard the sample already, it comes from this 1971 song called Summertime. And I'm going to play a short snippet of it, and then we'll talk about it some more, but just listen to this. I mean, I'm just at a loss for words. Like, I am so thankful that I got to hear this song, you know? It's another one of those songs that has probably just been buried and lost to time, and it really makes you think how many other pieces of music will we never actually get to hear because they're just kind of lost out there, you know? For me especially, I grew up in America, and I've been, you know, listening to Western American music for a very long time, and this is a extremely popular Brazilian song, or at least was a popular Brazilian song, you know? The artist, she had a very, you know, crucial impact on Brazilian music at the time, and, you know, the fact that Tyler is able to find these songs, find these samples from so many different cultures. You know, we've already got, you know, different African cultures, now Brazilian cultures. He pulls from a couple others in the future. It's amazing to me. You know, I'm very grateful I got to listen to the song. Again, I'm going to link it in the description, and you got to take a listen to the entire track. It's unbelievable. You know, she's such a talented artist, and, you know, Tyler's ability to recognize, you know, her song and sample that's, you know, from 1971 is just so impactful to me. So yeah, this was the main sample used throughout the entire song, and it's amazing. I have no other words. I'm kind of just dumbfounded by how pretty it is, you know? So I'm going to keep this pretty short. The next song is Thought I Was Dead, and in this song, you know, there is some absolutely incredible trumpet parts that were recorded live for this song. If you haven't watched the behind the scenes video yet, I definitely recommend watching it, because you get some insight on the studio sessions of Tyler, you know, really creating these ideas in his mind and actually recording his own music for the song. I thought it was amazing. The one sample that is used is this just basic army chant at the beginning, you know. It's just, you know, one of these generic chants, and I think it really helps fuel the progress of the song. It pushes the song forward, you know. I talked a lot about hooks in my last video, and this is another one of those hooks that just immediately wants you to get in this, like, flow, just like, you know, and it's just done so effortlessly and effectively, and it's such a simple sample, you know. Sometimes you don't have to get super complicated and abstract with the samples. Sure, he's sampling, you know, just random African tracks, you know, from, you know, just a sound library sample, and that's amazing, but the fact that he can just bring in this simple chant and just, like, you know, a video like this and put it in his song is so inspirational to me. It shows that it doesn't have to be this huge, grand, verbose thing. It can just be something simple that pushes the song forward, and I absolutely love that. So yeah, let's get on the next song. So I'm going to keep this section really short. Like Him features one sample and is from Baby Keem's song Boo Man, and as we all know, it is probably the best sample on the entire album. Here it is. I mean, wow, that, like, wasn't that amazing, guys? Like, how could you not love that? I don't have anything to say about this. I just wanted to make sure I got all the samples. You know, it's cool. Baby Keem was there. Let's go. Woo! Let's go to the next song. So, we're finally at Balloons. Now, this song was kind of weird to me the first time I heard it, because, you know, you're just coming off of Like Him, and it's like, you know, you're like all, like, kind of dreary, because the song is, like, you know, it's kind of deep, kind of heavy, you know what I mean? And then Balloons comes in with this incredibly happy track, and when I heard this, I was like, what in the world am I listening to, you know? And this track is from a Japanese artist called Akiko Yano, and the album's name is Yorokobi. Now, once again, I really want to articulate how impressed I am by Tyler's ability to sample from so many different cultures. And once again, this is another 1970s song, you know, it's a lot older, and it's something that could be easily lost to time. And for Tyler to be able to recognize and revamp this song into his own piece of work is something really special to me, you know? This song and the entire album is actually really cool. I took a listen to it, and there's a lot of really cool just instrumental tracks on it, you know? A lot of older Japanese music from the 70s and 80s especially, I felt like is making a resurgence online, you know? Especially on Instagram and TikTok, you know, in general. A lot of those older songs have found new life and new meaning through popular culture, and I think that's really interesting, you know? This song is really cool, and it's a really unique sample to use. I'm not entirely sure, again, what the kind of vibe was, then the vibe shift going into the song. I think he just wanted to have a fun song going on, but, you know, all props to him. And his ability to use the sample, I thought, was really unique and cool. You know, he's pulling from another culture. Now we got Asia, Africa, you know? It's like, what's going on, you know? He's pulling all over the world, and I absolutely love it. It really just shows how, you know, well-versed his ability to find music is. I think it's awesome. The other song he samples is I Wanna Rock by Uncle Luke, and I think everyone has heard this sample one way or another. Either you're a really big Travis Scott fan, and I mean, you know, Sicko Mode, you know, everyone knows Sicko Mode. I think that song was massive, you know. But also, if you've listened to the Gorillaz at all, Feel Good Inc. also samples this exact piece of music, and I think it's just interesting seeing kind of the ties that Tyler's pulling from a lot of other really popular songs into his own work, you know? And I think this is inspirational for a lot of smaller artists too, you know? I think we get in this mindset that, you know, we have to find this perfect sample that's never been used before, and, you know, once someone else uses something, it's over for us. But that's not true. You have this ability to take inspiration and, you know, make your own works out of a lot of other people's art forms, and that's like the whole purpose of sampling and the whole idea behind it. It doesn't have to be something overly complex every time. You know, I just thought it was a cool note to throw in real quick, and yeah, that's all I got about Balloons. And finally, last but not least, we have I Hope You Find Your Way Home. And this song samples all the way back to Saint Chroma. Oh my gosh, how did he do it? He made a perfect loop. That's crazy, you know? It's almost like he's a master of that. Let's take Ego, for example. But looking at this sample, you know, it's really just tying the album together. There's not really too much to it. You know, we're just repeating our beginnings and showing that there's a conclusion to the entire album. And once again, sampling one of his own works. You know, I think that's always really cool to do. You know, once you create something, I think, you know, making something new out of it and not having to just let go and toss it away is something that's really awesome and cool that Tyler is able to do, you know? A lot of the times I feel like once artists produce and put out a song, they just like leave it there to sit, and it's just like, that's it, you know? But he shows that, you know, you can, you know, make a cohesive idea using your own pieces, you know? You don't always have to sample from somebody else. You can sample your own stuff, you know, and transform and remix it, and especially in this case, just tell a story with it and conclude with it and kind of show this overarching idea of the entire album. And yeah, that's really all there is for this video. I want to thank you guys so much for watching. You know, it was really fun researching all these samples and just trying to pick apart, you know, what's what and where it goes where and all that stuff. Once again, I recommend you check the description. I'll have all of these songs linked. That way you guys have a chance to listen to all of them. I promise it'll be worth your time. You'll hear some really phenomenal music, and especially if you're a fan of Tyler, you know, you can kind of see what his inspiration comes up and how to, you know, see how he finds his music and what he finds and what he likes, you know? Take a listen especially to some of the other songs on the albums that these songs are pulled from. And what I mean by that is, like, when I link one of the samples, I want you to go to the album that sample is from and listen to some other songs from the album, because you'll hear some incredible music. Just, you know, be open to hearing different things, you know? That's what's going to help you sample the most, and it's going to be the best way to learn and progress in your music journey, you know? But yeah, thank you so much, guys. I, again, really appreciate all of you. I have a lot of other really cool videos on this channel. You should check them out. They're really awesome. Want to learn how to play some piano? I got you covered. And yeah, thank you guys for watching.